Yep. Time to break it all down, destroy it all down, and grind it all up and eat it till we make them crunching and digestive sounds, right? So, I've been watching and I've been seeing and all of this stuff. It's really, where's my guy at, man? It's really my man's right here, and I want to give him his shout out. I want to give him his freaking shout out before we go any further because my man Sean G. My man Sean G right here. The podcast with soul. Now, I do want to let people know real quick before they say anything. Like, dang, bro, why didn't you subscribe to him? Well, it's because on my iPhone, I don't have nothing connected, so I don't want to hear none of that crap. Well, if you mess with him, why don't you subscribe to his channel? Well, I hate iPhone, so I don't have anything but Instagrams connected to my iPhone. So there's that. Right? There's this whole entire Out Profit too. I seen somebody send me his stuff as well, and I rock with Out Profit. Out Profit is very credible. Out Profit actually shouted me out a couple years ago when I had told y'all that Big Jook got detained, while the whole entire world was like, "No, you're wrong." And as far as the everything I said about the freaking Young Dog trial and all that crap and everything, bruh, y'all know how accurate I was. Anyways, back to it. Everybody who's chiming in on this, if you believe Big Meech is a snitch already, just hit the dump. You're not needed because you already have your mind made up. So if you have a made up mind, I'm not here to convince you. If you haven't made up your mind, perfectly fine. If you've not. If you, no matter what, say, hey, bro, Big Meech is not a snitch, I don't care, blah, 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 you can hit the door too. Because one thing that we want to do around here is get it right and not be right. That's why I'm the only person on YouTube who will come out and literally say, you know what, I got that wrong in the middle of something while it is gaining motion. Because it's this thing that I do and I know that I had to have, and that is called morals. It's like, what did Kurt Angle used to say? The three eyes: integrity, intelligence, and what the hell is the other one? Didn't think that one through, right? Kurt Angle's three eyes. Intensity, yeah. Yeah, right? Let me see. Yeah, intensity, integrity, and intelligence. All right, shout out, Kurt Angle. Anyways, so if you have your mind made up whether he is a snitch or he's not a snitch, I need you to leave. This is for open-minded people. Now, if you could come in here and say, you know what, I did believe this, but I'm willing to listen to reason, then I got you. Other than that, I ain't go to nobody's anything. I ain't listen to nobody's stuff. No disrespect to anybody that I rock with. If you had an opinion on this stuff and everything like that, I'm not really tripping. So shout out to everybody who's doing their thing. But this is Seti Nash, bruh, the hood lawyer. And yes, I did have a lawyer help me out on this one. I did reach out to Big Meech's lawyer. She ain't get back at me, but it is what it is on that one. So let's just get into it. Y'all ready? So one of the first things that we see, and I'm gonna just break it down. I'm not gonna show other people's videos because I'm seeing a bunch of people get channel struck and all this stuff. So we're not gonna do all that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just go through piece by piece and disseminate it and basically give you the real. All right. So what ends up happening? The first thing that we get told is that, oh, Big Meech got a certified piece of mail that Cuffy sent to him, and that he didn't respond to it because it was correspondence between the lawyers and all this crap and everything like that. Well, yeah, no. So here's how this goes, all right? When you get mail sent to you, it goes to a freaking P.O. box. That's for the feds, all right? So it goes to a P.O. box, and then in many of these prisons, they make copies of the mail and give it to you due to the amount of paper soaked in K2 that floats around. So more than likely, somebody made that determination that he's not supposed to receive mail due to a security concern. The guards read the mail any doggone ways. So, yeah, nah. But Nah, that's number one. I don't even see how you basically try to even do that and thought that that was going to work. That's not how the play works typically. Then let's go ahead and say Big Meech is a snitch. All right, let's give it up to every freaking body. Do y'all realize that they have rules on cooperators? So if Big Meech was a snitch, do you understand that he would have got shipped to a whole different prison and he wouldn't have been running in gym pop? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read you this page 106, all right? And this is categories. This category that you're seeing is general comment about harm in prison slash prison culture. General comment about the frequency of harm, details of a specific incident. General comments about the sources to identify cooperator. It literally says defendants are threatened with bodily harm when they arrive at their designated institutions by prisoners that are designed by the shot callers. Before the defendants are permitted to be on the yard, he must show his paperwork, plea agreement, and judgment. Some have requested their presence report, which is not permitted in the possession of an inmate. One defendant was beaten so bad he was hospitalized. He did not cooperate, but rather another inmate with the same name. The prisoners received the information after having had family and friends look up the defendant's name. So there's that. If Big Meech would have told, they would have gave that man paperwork up and they would have beat the hell out of Big Meech. You want to know why? Because he's Big Meech. It would have made all type of news. Then that's where it gets even more funnier because it says right here, general comment about harm in prison slash prison culture, general comments about the sources to identify cooperator. Demands by inmates for new inmates to supply a copy of their plea agreements and sentencing transcripts for verification that they were not cooperators. Failure to provide the required information meant they were considered to be rats. Meaning, you don't pop up with that paperwork automatically, auto freaking medically, you're gonna be documented and called a snitch. So just to let y'all know, you ain't gotta go to the pen to let people know about the freaking pen for the most part. I ain't no penitentiary person, but I can tell you this stuff happens all the freaking time. Here we go again. Details of a specific incident, procedures in protecting witnesses, procedures for protecting defendants. During our office's prosecution of multiple defendants who were part of a local gang, a cooperating witness, CW, was threatened with death, and so were members of his family, and the government arranged for members of the CW's family to be brought to the United States for their safety. Following their arrival, the government provided funds for the CW's family members to change residence due to additional threats from the defendants during prosecution. 8 of the defendants who cooperated with the government sought and received custodial with sec protection due to likely retaliation and threat assessment during our office's investigation of several gang members of blank descendant. Cooperating defendants were threatened while in custody during our office prosecution of several corrupt police officers involved in illegal drug activities. The confidential informant was threatened via text message by one of the defendants prior to receipt of the threat. The government had already arranged for the CI to be relocated out of state for his protection. Why is that important? Because once again, if Big Meech was a snitch and working with the freaking feds, they would have got Lil Meech and his family the hell up out of there. Then there's this other thing that y'all can look up too, but a lot of y'all won't. Big Meech tried to get home, I believe it was in 2021, and he didn't freaking qualify. But I'm going to show you how he qualified a little later on. So the first rumor, y'all have to remember, because Big Meech's been getting attacked a lot. The first rumor that really gained some traction was, hey, bruh, he sat up there and had 30 years and then got it all dropped down. So how did that happen? He got to explain that one, right? So if we're looking and we're paying attention, right? U.S. District Court, Eastern District of Michigan, criminal docket case. 4 case, And here we go right here. The defendant, Demetrius Edward Flannery. All right. So represented by a bunch of people, whole lot of people. Alexi, she's from the Finland law firm. I remember Finland law firm, right? I had to give my boy Drew a shout out. Anyways, right here, we're looking at every freaking thing. So y'all see what's going on, right? They're dropping a bunch of charges. This is disposed right here. That could be given in a bevy of ways, but I'm fairly certain they just played out of that. So you already have these charges already getting dropped, basically, or pleaded out to. We'll just say pleaded out to. Because saying charged these days and dropped, y'all swear it's nefarious. Well, not us, but people do. So imprisonment of 360 months concurrent. Remember that. Supervised release 5 years concurrent. Special assessment fee $100 amended. So when people are talking, right? Here we go right here. Money laundering, imprisonment 240 months concurrent. Supervised release 3 years concurrent. So y'all gotta look at this stuff right here. These things matter. I don't I don't I don't I don't get upset or I'm not annoyed or anything like that because we don't owe Big Meech or anybody BMF any type of loyalty at all whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? We don't. But here's where we're seeing a bunch of stuff get reduced. And I'm going to show you exactly how he got it all reduced. All right? So if you look 2021, this is when they started to go for the reductions in 2021. All the way down to February 27th, 2024. So he's been getting reductions since 2021. But it's even funnier because let's just say, for the sake of saying it, that if Big Meech was really, really telling, right? He received a mandatory minimum for the CCE plus 20 for the money laundering to run concurrent with each other. Plus, he appealed his sentence and did a 2255 against his lawyer or lawyers. When you cooperate, you generally don't appeal unless the government didn't meet their end of the bargain. So unless the government said, hey, bruh, you tell, we're going to give you a reduction, and you tell, and they don't give you a reduction. That's the only way that happens. You wouldn't be appealing it. It just doesn't make sense. So when I said days ago, right, I said it on Monday. I said, I'm going to exonerate Big Meech of all of this stuff. And then I started getting calls, and I started getting bombarded with a lot of freaking stuff I had to read. And then each day I kept getting ready to put this stuff out. More people kept on coming. I'm like, what the hell, bruh? The party's supposed to be closed. So one person jumped off and said he went in under Amendment 821 status, point reduction for committing offenses while on probation. It's bogus. The judge never wrote an opinion, which is a dead giveaway in third-party 5K reductions. The government did not oppose the motion. You need at least 7 criminal history points to eligible for an 821 reduction. If eligible, only 1 criminal history point is subtracted. This is why we know the whole process was bogus. The judge resentenced him in criminal history category 0 or 1 point. This bride kept saying that she believed his chick had her bad so that he could get the credit. I dismissed her claim at first when I looked into it. He clearly was not eligible for reduction. All right, while you're saying that stuff, first of all, a 5K motion occurs prior to sentencing. Prior. So understand that part. It's coming out prior. And shout out to my paralegal, because my paralegal flamed you. So, the 5K motion occurs prior to sentencing. Second of all, the guidelines were amended as to criminal history points, status points, and a 0-point offender, which is a 2-point reduction for those who meet a myriad of requirements. So, there is no need for an opinion when this is not a legal argument. You either qualify or you don't. Which basically means, hey, bro, this ain't nothing but law. You don't need an opinion on law to see if you qualify or not. Just like how you got freaking YFN, Lucci, and Young Thug getting the first offenders. Bruh, ain't no opinion on that crap. You either get it or you don't. That's all. So let's do this too. I'm going to make this quick, all right? And I want people to understand, this is the 821 that he's talking about. Flat out. United States of America versus Demetrius Flannery. Demetrius Flannery, by undersigned counsel Brittany K. Barnett, moves this honorable court to reduce his sentence pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 3582C C2 USSG Amendment 821 Part 1 status points under 4A1.1. In support of this motion, Mr. Flannery states as follows. Now understand, what you're not going to see is that the government did not live up to its end of the bargain. That would be a dead giveaway that Big Meech is a snitch. So let's go further. On November 19, 2007, Mr. Flannery pled guilty to continuing criminal enterprise, CCE, in violation of 21 U.S.C. 848, a conspiracy to launder money, instruments in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1956, ECF number 852. His plea was taken contemplating a sentencing guideline range of 360 months. Well, you already did that in previous, so you need to go skip back, to life based on a total offense level of 42 and a criminal history category of 2. On September 12, 2008, Mr. Flannery was sentenced to a term of 360 months imprisonment. The bottom of the guidelines range EFC number 1075. Pursuant to USSG Amendment 782, Mr. Flannery's sentencing guideline range was reduced from what? 324 to 405 months. So here you go. Based on the revised motion total offense level of 40 and a criminal history category of 2, ECF number 1728. On June 14th, this was the 2021 freaking appeal that they try to do. So he already tried to appeal his sentencing already based on the points. This is when he wasn't eligible for it, all right? So he had already tried this in 2021. So June 14, 2021, this honorable court resentenced Mr. Flannery to 324 months imprisonment. The bottom of the guideline range. I'm sorry, these words are super small. I'm just trying to do this right here, see if it helps. Because if y'all don't know, everything I do is on the phone. So 18 U.S.C. 3582C2 allows a reduction in a defendant's term of imprisonment where the guideline range applicable to that defendant has subsequently been lowered as a result of an amendment to the guidelines manual. In April 2023, the United States Sentencing Commission voted. See, so let's understand that. The United States, are you telling me? Now, listen, I get it. Big Meech has, how can I say this the left way? Big Meech has a lot of pull. A whole lot of pull, bro. A whole lot of pull. But you're telling me that the whole United States, he got the pull of it? Come on, bro. So in April 2023, the United States Sentencing Commission voted to promulgate Amendment 821 of the sentencing guidelines. In relevant part, this amendment alters the application of the guidelines with respect to certain individuals who earn criminal history status points based on commission of an offense while serving a criminal justice sentence. Specifically, with regard to status points under USSG 4A1.1, a defendant who committed the instant offense while under any criminal justice sentence, including probation, parole, supervised release, imprisonment, work release, or escape status, previously received 2 additional criminal points. Amendment 821 amends, understand, it amends that to eliminate such points for any defendant who otherwise has 6 or fewer criminal history points. Dun, 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 dun. In August 2023, the Sentencing Commission voted that Amendment 821 should be applied retroactively, which means going back. So this is the part where people don't care to read because they want to prove their point. You can prove the truth. It's way better and easier. All I had to do is read. Boom. So here you go. Mr. Flannery meets the criteria for a sentence reduction under USSG Amendment 821 as he received 2 status points for committing the instant offense while serving 1-year probation term sentencing from a 1991 state sentence. You see how this works? Then USSG 4A1.1 eliminates such status points. So it's something that the United States of America did. Why they did it? I got an idea, but it is what it is. Mr. Flannery's current guideline range is based on a total offense level of 40 and a criminal history category of 2. With the elimination of status points, Mr. Flannery is left with a single criminal history point, placing him in criminal history category 1. This adjustment results in a revised guideline range of 292 months to 365 months, taking into account the policy statement set forth in USSG 1B1.10 and the sentencing factors set forth in 18 USC 3553A. To the extent they are applicable, this court has the authority to reduce Mr. Flannery's sentence. Excuse me. Where am I at? Sorry. On December 13, 2007, the court granted Mr. Flannery's brother, an equally culpable co-defendant, meaning we both did it. Y'all proved both of us did this. Motion for a sentence reduction pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 3582C2 ECF number 1577. Terry Flannery's sentence was reduced from 360 months to the bottom of his revised guideline range of 292 months. At this point, Mr. Flannery has been incarcerated for 18 years, nearly 2 decades. Not only is Mr. Flannery eligible for relief, but has earned it. He's demonstrated his strong commitment to rehabilitation during his incarceration. Notably, Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP, staff observed that Flannery has displayed a dedication of remaining physically fit and has taken it upon himself to lead and teach exercise classes to other inmates. He also leads regular focus groups of various self-help books and appears to have a positive mental health effect of other inmates. What snitch could do that? Now, all this third-party cooperation is BS. Flat out. It's straight up BS. Because the person that you are trusting, and don't worry, I'm going to destroy her little thing in a minute. Don't worry, we'll get into that. So, Exhibit A, BOP records. Mr. Flannery record speaks volumes about his conduct. Aside from a single infraction in 2021, he has maintained an impeccable record with no other infractions over the past 8 years. This exemplary behavior, along with other factors such as his age and time served, has led the BOP to classify him as a minimum security risk. His commendable conduct is further acknowledged by his current transition to a low-level security facility. Think about that. Moreover, Mr. Flannery got his GED, then successfully completed a 24-month special management unit SMU program. Successfully completion of the SMU program requires strict adherence to rules and regulations of the unit. Mr. Flannery did not incur any infractions during this intense program. Mr. Flannery has also completed parenting classes, health awareness classes, money management classes, and a 40-hour drug treatment program offered by the Bureau of Prisons. Importantly, Mr. Flannery has maintained strong positive relationships with his family continuously throughout his incarceration. A sentence reduction of 32 months for Mr. Flannery would not pose any threat to public safety. Mr. Flannery is a 54-year-old with remarkable rehabilitation over the past 18 years and a low-level risk of recidivism. He has not been convicted of a crime of violence and does not have an assaultive or violent criminal record, sorry. Golly. A sentence of 292 months remains an extremely significant sentence. However, consistent with Mr. Flannery's prior sentence at the low end, his guideline range reduction to 292 months imprisonment is appropriate. Furthermore, a sentence of 292 months aligns with the sentences of similarly situated individuals, including Mr. Flannery's brother and co-defendant of equal culpability, Terry Flannery, as required by local rule 7.1a, undersigned counsel conferred with AUSA Benjamin C. Coates on November 7, 2023 regarding his motion, and the government reserves the decision whether to oppose based on the outcome of probation's memo setting out its position on eligibility. As such, Mr. Flannery respectfully requests this honorable court to order the United States Probation Office to issue a memo setting out its position on Mr. Flannery's eligibility for sentence reduction under Amendment 821. Wherefore, these reasons, Mr. Flannery respectfully requests this honorable court enter an order effective February 1st, 2024, reducing his sentence from 324 months to 292 months imprisonment. So then, and this is a big one right here, right? And this is the one where everybody is pointing to. And I get why they're pointing to it, right? And this is a January 12, 2018 thing right here. This report and recommendation and order United States Magistrate Judge and all that crap, right? And so this is what they were using to basically call him a snitch. But if you look on page 15, right, it says Gatlin's former counsel, DEA agents, and prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office in St. Louis, CEV, I ain't even finna do all that, also threatened to circulate the unsworn affidavit to all parties involved, including undersigned. CS1's unsworn affidavit specifically tasked issue with statements in the wiretap affidavit suggesting Flannery hooked up the deal between Gatling and Suarez. The unsworn affidavit suggests instead that Agent Cromer implicated Flannery because he was jealous of Flannery's relationship with CS1, which freaking means the damn cop set all of this up. So it's not just that she's humping on freaking Cromer. It's actually that Cromer was jealous because he thought Big Meech was humping on CS1. So check this out, and we're going to kind of go backwards. We'll be jumping in and out, right? And these things are important because it's as though you're trying to infer that, all right, Big Meech is sleeping with her, and then she, secretly told him? Is that what y'all doing? So check this out. In September 2011, Flannery requested CS1's help coordinating delivery of a load of cocaine to be controlled by Suarez, who at that point was already in contact with CS1. So, Suarez and CS1 already been doing business. By the way, just want to put that out there. CS1's credibly testified that he/she first met Suarez by telephone when Suarez contacted CS1 to ask how Flannery was doing. Flannery confirmed that he and Suarez were friends and that they had met in the county jail in Michigan. Although CS1 did not meet Suarez in person, he/she spoke with Suarez by phone and text. Additionally, Suarez sent CS1 a picture of himself. Sometime in 2012, Suarez asked CS1 if he/she knew someone who might want to buy some pills. According to CS1, he/she was in a car with Agent Cromer during this first narcotic-related conversation with Suarez. Agent Cromer overheard the call and signaled to CS1 to say yes, he/she knew someone. CS1 was later contacted by an agent in California regarding Suarez. As with Suarez, defendant Gatlin first contacted CS1 to see how Flannery was doing in jail at 60. Based on discussion with both Gatlin and Flannery, CS1 understood that Gatlin and Flannery were friends. Initially, CS1's relationship with Gatlin was more of a business relationship and communication centered more around Flannery's life rights at 61. However, at some point, Flannery asked CS1 to connect Gatlin and Suarez, and the relationship between CS1, Gatlin, and Suarez turned. So, once again, you guys are trying to make a mountain out of a freaking molehill, and understand that that freaking Big Meech was detained. You see what I'm saying? He was already detained already in March 19, 2006. Well, April, my bad. April, my fault. April 7, 2006. So he had a warrant arrested, returned, executed on 10/28/2005 as to Demetrius Edward Flannery, and then motion for revocation of detention order right here. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. When there is no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot hurt you. Here's what I believe happened. I believe your man Cuffy panicked. And when he panicked, he started thinking of ways to figure out who, how, and what screwed him over. And somebody that he thought was his boy, who was supposed to help him, couldn't help him. And if I don't know that you can't help me, I would assume you decided not to help me. That's what I believe happened with that relationship with those two. You have no documents that 100% says that Big Meech was cooperating. The prison that Big Meech was in, that ain't no snitch prison. The reduction that Big Meech sought wasn't a snitch freaking appeal. So what they try to say, well, it didn't go through and all that stuff. Yeah, all right, all right, all right, all right, sure. Sure. So y'all try to use this lady who I'm assuming she used to be way prettier before. Y'all try to use her and y'all start trying to get y'all deals. Can I ask a simple question? When was it revealed that Big Meech knew that this person was a snitch? Then the key thing that everybody points to, they're saying, oh, well, Big Meech said keep my name up out of that stuff. Meaning, if y'all deal go bad, I had nothing to do with this. That's what that means. That means I didn't co-sign this. That does not mean that, oh, bruh, because I'm setting him up. You decided to run your own play. You are literally in the penitentiary for what you did. There's no accountability on Cuffy whenever I heard him on with Blue Da Vinci or none of this stuff. And Blue even said it, yeah, basically what he got locked up for, Big Meech had nothing to do with. But basically you're trying to say that you pled to a lesser. No, give your lawyer that credit, bruh. You pled to a lesser because your lawyer was that good. Because you had money. That's what money does. So when I'm hearing Cuffy, and I get it, you sat in a room and you basically played web series and web strings and web theory and all this stuff that has to connect here and connect here and connect here. But nobody ever shows a document where it says Big Meech acknowledges that CS1 is an informant and he continued to work with her. You guys have to understand, y'all even had the agent on scene with Suarez. Like, come on, bruh. So what about that? When you conveniently leave things out, you're conveniently screwed over. When these people are sitting here and connecting dots, you're not connecting dots from a place of curiosity. You're connecting dots from a place of affinity, which means you want to further prove your point instead of dispelling it. Let me help out a bunch of y'all who are YouTubers or upcoming YouTubers who want to do stuff like this. And I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I consider myself an opinionist. But in a couple of hours, we might get to change that. Bruh, homie, homeboy, sis, lady, whenever you are trying to further your point, make sure you study your point enough that you can chop it down so what's left is the truth. Because if all you're giving is bad takes and bad information, they will assume that you're clickbaiting and that you're lazy, deaf, and dumb. And I don't want to see that for anybody. There's enough money on this earth that we all can come up. But when it comes down to it, it looks like the agent and the freaking spy, Tammy, sat up there and set up everybody. That's what it looks like. And now she's in a position once again to do what? Get close to somebody else. If I am 50 Cent, bruh, I'm going to make sure doing business with her, you learn that you separate yourself over time and get away from that. Now, ultimately, if I'm 50 Cent, I would have cut ties with Big Meech any doggone ways. Because one thing's for certain, two things for sure. 50 Cent is right. Regardless of what freaking Rick Ross did or anything like that. Brent, no. You had to show loyalty to people who helped you out. Because 50 Cent helped your family legitimately get $5 million, bruh. Legitimately. And was helping your son to create generational wealth. Your seed, your image and likeness, your reincarnation in flesh. You don't think that doesn't deserve a little bit of loyalty? With that being said, even though I don't even like Lil Meech, I find him to be annoying a stupid kid who's chasing the wrong things. I don't even like Lil Buddy. I wouldn't disrespect him or nothing like that. Like, we could be around each other, but I ain't feeling Lil Buddy. Even though he done some bad mishaps and stepping the wrong way, I could say at least he tried to fix it. But Big Meech, man, choose your friends wisely, bruh. You hanging out with a correctional officer whose name ain't even his name. Just is what it is.